If you're wondering whether the new Xiaomi Pad 8 is better than the Galaxy Tab S10 FE, today we're comparing as much as possible to find out. So let's go ahead and get started. Pricing between these two is pretty comparable depending on where you're looking, but normally the Tab S10 FE is a little more expensive, although I've seen it go on sale several times, making these two a lot closer in price at around $400 to $450, at least in the United States. Both of these start with 128 gigabytes of storage with 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can also go up to 256 gigabytes for both of these, and you get 12 gigabytes of RAM if you go with the higher storage option for both tablets. One advantage for the Tab S10 FE is you can use a MicroSD card to expand the storage where you don't have that option on the Xiaomi Pad 8. Now the Xiaomi Pad is a little bit lighter at 485 grams versus about 500 for the Galaxy Tab. The Xiaomi Pad's a little bit thinner as well, except of course for the camera module. That camera bump on the back definitely makes it rock back and forth quite a bit more than some of the other tablets. The Tab S10 FE lays almost perfectly flat. But these two are pretty similar in screen brightness, around 800 nits. Both tablets have a similar size IPS LCD display at 11.2 inches for Xiaomi versus 10.9 inches on Samsung. The Xiaomi Pad 8 has a higher refresh rate at 144 Hz versus 90 for the Tab S10 FE. The Xiaomi Pad also has higher resolution at 2136 by 3200 versus 1440 by 2304 on Samsung. The aspect ratio is just a little bit different on the Xiaomi Pad, but I feel like they're probably close enough to not really make that big of a difference. But obviously it's going to come down to personal preference. I think both of these look pretty good in person, but when you put them next to each other, the Xiaomi Pad definitely looks a little bit better as far as screen quality. I actually ran the same battery drain test on each of these tablets at 100% screen brightness, and the Xiaomi Pad 8 lasted 6 hours versus 7 for the Tab S10 FE. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of variables with battery life. Depending on how you're using your tablet, you also get 45 watt fast charging on both tablets as well. One advantage with the Galaxy Tab is you have a fingerprint scanner right on the power button, where you don't have any fingerprint scanner on the Xiaomi Pad 8, unfortunately. You've also got Workstation on the Xiaomi Pad versus Samsung DeX on the S10 FE, which is pretty nice if you want to be a little more productive. They both also have floating windows and split screen to do multitasking as well. Although I feel like you get a couple extras on Samsung, like the Edge panel on the side and the taskbar down at the bottom. They're both on Android 16 as of this video, but you can see there's a little bit different style to the software. I think the Xiaomi Pad software definitely reminds me of what you see on an iPad, so kind of a combination of Android and iPadOS, and it runs fairly smooth overall. Nice thing is you get pen support on both tablets, and the S Pen is included with the S10 FE. Unfortunately, I don't have the Xiaomi Focus Pen Pro to test on here, but at least you have that option if you want to draw, take notes, and that kind of thing for both tablets. Nice thing is you don't have to worry about charging the S Pen on the S10 FE. Another advantage for the Xiaomi Pad is it's got video out, so you can use an HDMI adapter to connect to a projector, external monitor, or TV, where you don't get that with the Samsung tablet. But one advantage you get with the S10 FE is it gets 7 years of software updates versus only 4 on the Xiaomi Pad, although it does get 6 years of security updates, so that's good to see. So if you want the tablet with longer software support, you'll definitely want to go with Samsung. The Xiaomi Pad 8 is quite a bit more powerful with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 processor versus Exynos 1580 and the S10 FE. Just one look at the benchmark results and you'll see it's really not even that close. I think both are good options to do some gaming on, but if you want to do more high-end gaming and video editing, things that are going to need a little extra power, you'll definitely want to go with the Xiaomi Pad 8. The Xiaomi Pad has a quad speaker setup versus only 2 speakers on the Tab S10 FE. So you're definitely going to have better sound quality on the Xiaomi Pad 8, although it's not bad on the Galaxy Tab. Here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of what they sound like. Both of these have a 13 megapixel rear facing camera, but the 12 megapixel ultra wide on the front of the Galaxy Tab has auto framing, so it might work a little bit better for video calls. You can also record up to 4K resolution on both tablets as well, but here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of how they compare. So as you can see, there's actually a lot to like about these two tablets from Xiaomi and Samsung. Some of it may come down to personal preference on which one is better for you. I think if you want the better screen quality to watch movies, videos, and if you want the better performance for gaming or video editing, the Xiaomi Pad 8 is gonna be the better option. But if you want the longer software support and the included Stylus or S Pen, plus I feel like the software is a little more polished, it may make more sense to go with the Galaxy Tab S10 FE. If you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more comparisons that I'm working on, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.